What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Zephyrwargames Digimon, and I'm bringing to you guys a deck profile for Blue Flare. Now this is a deck that I thoroughly enjoy, it's one of my favourites, being just a fan of Greymon. I'm not really a big fan of Cross Walls, but I really love the design of the Metal Greymon. But yeah, I really love this deck. It is literally what the Greymon decks really want to be. It just perfectly screams Greymon, as it is a Greymon deck technically. So, we got some new support in BT2.5, thanks from the BT19 portion of the set. And so, Blue Flare got a great amount of upgrades on there. They're really emphasizing and highlighting the control aspect of the deck, while still keeping the OTK sort of playstyle, you know, just high damage, high volts, you know, really get those fast checks in there, as you'll see in this profile. So this is one that me and my friend Billy have been working on. I had a general concept. Billy took it, rolled with it a little, made his own tweaks. I then took his concept this past weekend, play tested it, and made my own edits to it. So you'll be seeing a like joint kind of like conclusion of what we've been cooking with. This is a deck that I took to one at a nationals a long time ago. Got top 50 play, like 50th place or something like that, around that mark. Benchmark out of like 300 or so people. So again, I really like this deck. I really like Blue Flare, so I'm really happy with the upgrades that it's gotten. So with all that said and done, and tooting my little horn there for a little bit, but it's just mostly just to say, I know the deck essentially. I know it, and so that how much I like this deck, and I feel like if you know a viewer or a presenter likes the deck that they're profiling, they're properly thinking about it. They're properly thinking about it. But as always, if you enjoy it, give us a like and subscribe down below, and ding that notification bell, because obviously if you enjoy posting content here on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on that content, and that notification bell helps prevent that. All of it's greatly appreciated, and we really thank you guys for all the support you've been giving us. So let's get into Blue Flare. So we're going to start off with the eggs as always. So 4 copies of 1 Yourplaymat. This is still the best generic egg for blue in terms of a deck like this. As long as when attacking, if you have a blue tamer, draw 1 card. Nice and simple there. We want to see our combo pieces. This is a combo deck, in terms of like we need certain cards in our hand or on the field to actually do our play. So having a card like 1 Yourplaymat means we get to see those cards as soon as possible. 4 copies of the brand new BT19 Gaussmon. So here's an on-play and when Digivolve it on delete. By placing a Blue Flare trait Digimon from your hand under any of your tamers, draw 1 card. Personally, I think after testing, we had this along with the old Gaussmon. But again, after a little bit of testing, I felt like the new Gauss and Ukamon from BT16 are just overall better for the deck. You want to see cards as soon as possible. There was moments where I just didn't have the level 4s that I needed, or the level 5 or 6 that I needed, and so having these cards means I'm constantly getting the bits I need. I do not mind hard playing my champions, like they cost cheap enough. I don't really need to have the old Gaussmon to play them for free anymore. I'd rather pay the value, pay the cost, get what I need faster, as opposed to evolving, raising, swinging, hope it dies, and and get the thing. Having these cards in the deck as my level 3s means I have a very strong on play for consistency. I have a very strong promote for consistency. Like this still has an on delete for consistency. Like all of them work off the 1 Yourplaymat. Like you're just getting all that value, getting all that advantage, you're getting all that, again, consistency. Take a drink if have a sip if I say consistency. Like a deck like this, which is already trying to play up to the game as it is, needs to see its cards. So we're moving on to level 4s. We're playing 4 copies of the old BT10 Greymon. I love this old art for it. On play, look at top 4 cards of your deck. You can add any 2 blue flare trait cards to your hand, return the rest of the bottom, on delete save. If you don't know what save does, I believe it's the first time I had a profile on here with save mechanic. Save means that on delete, you can tuck this under any of your tamers as an evolution source. So that's what save is, but it has to be deleted. Then we have 3 copies of the brand new BT19 Greymon. So this has Rush, and on delete, by if you have one of your tamers, you may play 1 Kiriha Amana from your hand without paying the cost, then save. The inherent has Reboot. The inherent on the old Greymon is that if your opponent has if you're a blue flare Digimon and your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, this card gets unsuspended when attacking once per turn. So we have 7 Greymons in our deck, and we also have 7 male Bergermons in our deck. So we have a nice consistent ratio of 14 champs. Half each means that our Digicrossing with our Metal Greymon should be as consistent as possible, especially with the searching from this, drawing from this and searching of this. So for our male Bergermons, we're playing 4 copies of the EX4 one. This has inherent jamming, and on play, one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level gains when attacking lose 2 memory until the end of the opponent's turn. On delete save. You're never going to be digivolving these guys, so just do bear that in mind. Maybe on very worst scenario, if you just want to stay in the back a little bit to then promote, you can evolve for this and evolve into this, but otherwise these guys are all costing 3. And then for the other male Bergermon, we're playing 3 copies of the brand new BT19 male Bergermon. This guy is blocker, and on delete, you may place 1 Digimon card with a blue fair trait from the trash under any of your tamers, then save this card. The inherent is blocker. So you got a good bit of defensive strategies here with the reboot and blocker, and you got your offensive with jamming, and I guess reboot counts that as well. Moving on to our level 5, we're playing 3 copies of the old BT10 Metal Greymon. So we had this at 4 at first, and then in testing, I just felt like I was seeing Metal Greymon a little bit too much. And I can understand why a lot of players in Japan kind of like drop this card down to 3. You want to see the new one now a bit more than the old one. But this card is still amazing. And again, I love the old alt art for this. I managed to get these off Tamras when I went to the Nats to play this deck. And like, yeah, I got it literally on the day. It was so great. I do have a playset of it. So this card has Material Save 2, so you can take any 2 of its evolution sources that are listed as Digicross requirements, tuck them underneath one of your tamers. On play, this Digimon gains Rush, then if you are Digicrossing, one of your opponent's Digimon, 2 of your opponent's Digimon, 3 of your opponent's Digimon with equal of your evolution cards as this cannot attack or block until the end of their turn. So it really stuns wide boards that have like low source rates. You're going to be having 2 sources under this card when you Digicross most of the times. So being able to stun 3 things with 2 or less sources really can push your opponent back, because even if they climb up, because of the way that this card's worded and ruled, if they climb up after you stun them, they're still stunned. But yeah, so really love this card, and yeah, so I play this at 3. You can play it at 4. If you do, you drop out one of the cyber launchers we're going to see later on to play it at 4 copies. But yeah, at the moment we're playing 3. For 4 copies of the brand new BT19 Metal Greymon. So this card has, again, Material Save 2. On play, he gains Rush for the turn. And when attacking, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then this Digimon may Digivolve into a blue flare trait card under one of your tamers without paying the cost. This is where the new Gaussmon comes in, because you on-play Gauss, tuck a blue flare underneath. Ideally, you're going to be tucking one of your level 6s. So that way, when you cross into this, you swing, you go into that 6 without paying the cost. So the old Metal Greymon had a Digicross requirement of any Greymon and a male Bergermon. So before, you would be playing the starter deck 1 Greymon for the Sec +1. Now that all the new Metal Greymons for blue flare specifically ask for a blue Greymon, so you can only use the blue ones now, which is why we're only playing the blues. You can still play the red ones. If that would be the case, you're going for a more aggressive build, I'd drop this to 3 and bump this to 4. And you can focus a bit more now if you wanted to go for a more aggressive play style. But yeah, so that's why we're playing this. This one has an end of attack inherentable Or you may play one level 4 lower Digimon card for the blue flare trait from under your tamers without paying cost. So this is why this new Greymon has Rush. So you swing, evolve into your 6, another attack, you spawn this from a tamer, swing again, and hopefully that would help you get closer to gain. We are playing 2 copies though of the Cyber Launcher. This is mostly so we can get a free little cheap armor purge on our stack, as this card can evolve on a level 5 for 2 memory. Ideally though, I'm thinking of just dropping this down to 1 and just bumping this back up to 4, because I'd rather see these over this, and you know, once you've seen one of these, that's essentially it though. This is an on-play when Digivolving, you may place a blue flare trait Digimon from your hand or from under your tamers as this evolution card, then return one of your opponent's level 3 low Digimon to the bottom of the deck, and you're never going to get the extra bit there because you don't have Cyberdramon in the deck. But you can also Digicross this with Melt Greymon and Cyberdramon, and this card's always treated as Metal Greymon or Cyberdramon, so you can technically Digicross this with itself, another copy of itself and a Metal Greymon, but you're really going to be doing this. It does have the armor purge ability, but again, I am thinking of just dropping this down to 1 or just taking it out completely, because it never really came up. Moving on to the 6s, we're still playing 2 copies of the old Z Greymon. This is our essential OTK enabler. As you can, when Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. Then if you have a blue flare or Digicross trait in the evolution cards and your opponent's 2 or more Digimon, gain 2 memory. On delete, you can save, and then you can also place a blue Greymon and a blue male Virgin from your trash under one of your tamers with the general trait, which all of them are still going to be Kiriha. So yeah, this is your main OTK enabler. With the new Metal Greymon, you can actually just evolve into this for +2 memory if your opponent has 2 Digimon, as they will evolve into this for 0, and then you can just gain 2 memory, so you're netting positive. Essentially, you Digicross for 1 memory in that whole scenario. Just move these a lot more so you can see the male Virgin ones over here. But then we have 3 copies of the brand new Zeke Greymon. So this card can evolve for 3 memory. This card can also evolve for 2 memory on a Metal Greymon, so also bear that in mind. This guy always evolves for 3, but when Digivolving and on play, Digivolve to one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, return one of level 4 to the hand or lower. And on delete, you may play a blue flare or cross heart trait Digimon from play cost 5 or less from under your tamers, then without paying cost, then save. Inherent has plus 2000 DP all turns. You're really going to get that inherent, but you can do so. This one also gives blocker, but you're never really going to be doing that. But there are scenarios where you can do that if you just have to. But yeah, we did have this at 4, but again, in testing, I was just seeing these way too much. I had a whole hand where I was just like seeing like all of them. It was not good. But so I dropped them down. You see these now more than enough with the Ukamon edition. So I'd rather drop the ratios down and play cards that see more cards, because that way I'm seeing everything in my deck. To help with the OTK, because there was times where I was on the verge of OTK, but I just needed that one more swing to game. We're playing 2 copies of the brand new Omnimon X antibody. If you're on a budget, you can just play Blitz Omnimon. But yeah, 2 copies of Omnimon X ideally is if you're going to be super serious, like, you know, go all out on this deck. As it's just essentially Blitz Omni for game, but you're actually removing a body as well in case if you need to. You are not going to get the full effect of the when Digivolving, but you are going to get the last part, which is then return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck. And then end of the turn, one of your Digimon gains Rush and can swing without suspending. So you essentially just give it to itself to just swing again sideways. Moving on to Tamers, we're playing 2 copies of the Memsetter BT10 Kiriha Mono. All the Tamers have your turn. If you do a Digicross, you can suspend a Tamer and use Digimon under your Tamers for the Digicross requirement. 3 copies of the brand new BT19 Kiriha Mono. Start of your main by placing Digimon with a blue flag trait or cross heart trait under any of your Tamers. You gain a memory, so 3 extra memory. And then again, if you Digicross, you can suspend it, use Digimon under your Tamers. And we have 3 copies of the EX4 Kiriha Mono and Kiriha Amuna and Nene Amano. So this card is always treated as Kiriha in its name, so do bear that in mind. And start of your main, if there are 2 or more Digimon in play, you gain a memory. And all turns, if you digicross, you can suspend this, use Digimon from your team list and one from your trash as well. So this helps you get stuff back from your trash essentially when doing a digicross. And the last cards in the deck is just 4 copies of like the best option, which is Blazing Memory Boost. For 5 memory, you look at top 6, you get any 2 blue third traits to hand, and then you can play a Kiriha. You return the rest of the bottom of your deck and then place this in the battle area. Delay is just gain 2 memory. And the security just places in the battle area. So do bear that in mind. If you only have, it should never happen, but if for some bizarre reason you looked at top 6 and you got 4 of these and 2 of these, you have to add the 2 Kirihas. You can then not just add a Kiriha and play a Kiriha. In this case scenario, because Ukamon can't be grabbed at all, but these 2 can, you have to add these 2. Then that's the warning on Blazing Memory Boost if you're just starting into the game for Blue Flare. But yeah, that's the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below how you're playing Blue Flare. Are you going for a more OTK style with red base? A spicy tech you can do so if you are going for a more OTK red base style is that I'd highly advise playing the BT9 Metal Greymon X antibody, because all of these guys gain rush, which then means you can evolve this on top of them, because he can evolve on a Metal Greymon named for 0, and then he gives himself 3k and sec +1. So you would have cross into one of these using this, evolve into this after gaining rush for 0. Now you have sec +1 with jamming as well, which is very, very nice there. But yep, that's it. Hope you all enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below. And so next thing, guys, as always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.